Fuck it. We're doing it live.
And there you have it, folks. Out to the Lions. We're back, baby. Back and better than ever. Your co-host and your host, Emma Ross, Boy Tucker DeCamp. How we doing, everyone? How we doing?
You're doing great. Don't know what video it is or what pod it is. What's the episode? That's what it was.
Still have no idea what episode it is. We're just going to dive in. Things we're going to be chatting about today. We're going to go over a few different things. The adult in the room has left Meta, finally. Sheryl Sandberg. Most of you know her, the genius, the wizard behind the ad business over at Facebook/Meta. She has decided to take a leave of absence, or some would call a sabbatical. Or she's got the fuck out of there before it went downhill.
Dipping permanently.
Phil Knight put an offer in to buy the Trailblazers. TikTok getting into the streaming wars. Slack somehow entering the recruiting space. Layoffs are happening all over, not just the tech industry. Where will this go? Elon and his robot. This was one that you had, Tuck. I don't know nothing about this. Is this a real thing here? He's got a robot?
Yeah, real fucking sketchy.
Yeah, okay. Well, there we go. We'll get into all of that. Trailing topics. We'll talk about some stable coins, what the future is for that. Get into some VC action, most valuable company in the world, and what's happening with this Elon deal? Question mark? We'll see what happens. As well as polling employees in the workspace, talking about remote work, whether you need to get back the fuck in the office, or whether you're good to stay at home. We're going to dive into the last topic. Myself work from home fully, remotely, whether that be my full-time job or doing other contract work. I'm fully remote, and I'm never going back into an office. That is what 64% of people said they would rather quit than go back into an office. You, on the other hand, are full-time in the office. What are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I think it depends on if you're a piece of shit or not. And let me get into that a little bit.
Please elaborate.
I think where a lot of people, like you see Elon as of recently, is talking about, everyone needs to get back in the office. Like, I'm not going to have anybody, like, if you want to work remotely, then work somewhere else. And obviously he can do that. He has the ability to do that. The hard part is he also has, he has the ability to bring in the greatest talent, but that also means he has the greatest talent. And that means that talent, if they so choose, can go anywhere they want. If you work at SpaceX specifically, or Tesla, honestly, you can work anywhere you want. They're the most competitive company probably on the planet when it comes to everything that they're in. And, going back to, sorry, I went on a little tangent there. But going back to, if you're a piece of shit or not, what I mean by that is that, a lot of CEOs are tired, I'm sure, and they see that they can cut a little bit off the bottom. I wouldn't say top of the financial part, but bottom of the ladder when it comes to employees. And where I think it's important is it's like, there's a lot of people who work their asses off, regardless of if they're at home or if they're in the office. That's where I think it's totally valuable. You get a lot of morale out of the same amount of work. It's an automatic boost for your employees who are working hard. I think you've seen it. We saw it during the pandemic, is like these people go straight into working at home, and then they're making cash because they're working from home, but they're also a stock trader all day. And what I'm saying? It's like they're doing other things. And, kudos to the people who are being extra productive and like using that extra time that they have not working on something. But there's a lot of people out there who are just like napping till 12 and like just making sure they got their email notifications on. So I think that's a balance. But like, honestly, as a person who enjoys working in an office somewhat of the time, having that flexibility, I think, is super important. And, I'm sure a lot of people like it. I did it in my last job and I loved it for a bit. I think a little bit of both is always great, but it really depends on if it's worth it or not for the business. is really dependent on your employees and if you chose the right employees from the beginning.
Yeah, and I'll kind of touch on what you said about people using the quote unquote like extra time that they have.
Mhm.
It definitely pointed out to that there's definitely a gap that's missing here of, hey, I'm getting the same amount of work done in 3 hours that I would normally spend in an office 8 hours a day. So there's got to be some kind of disconnect here of like, why do we have to go into the office if I'm getting more my work done, if not more work done at home? What's the point of this? That's where I'm
Ye-
kind of. But like you said, there's people are using it and abusing it. Of they'll roll over at 8:59, turn their laptop on, and say, "Oh yeah, I'm checked in for the day. I'm working." And they'll send a couple emails and then log off for the day and kind of abuse that system and put a bad name to I think what work from home actually could be.
Yeah, I think perfectly described by you is in the engineering field. A lot of times that we work in like a silo type system where we will interact with other people, but we are cognizant of our project and we are very project based. So obviously that takes time, like time, months, whatever, depends on your job, but you're responsible for that work. And if you get that work done, more power to you. And then it falls onto the managers or the people at the higher echelon to kind of gauge where people are at and how they're like finishing work, and to give them more work if you can finish all of your work in 3 hours, which I totally agree with, because the days that I come in, like if I go in on a Saturday and nobody's there, I bust out so much more work than I would if I was at the office. I totally agree with that. So then it kind of falls on upper management or anyone above them to allocate that work, more, I guess, continuously, and reevaluate workloads all the time. I think where it becomes a real problem is like, people have like long-term projects, or they're being paid to continuously provide a service, and they're just like doing the bare minimum of what they're being paid for. But I truly believe that if you're an employee and you're fucking busting your ass and you're getting that shit done in 3 hours, at the end of the day, it's like, it's not your fault that you are, more capable than the manager thinks you are. So that's their job to evaluate you. So
100%. And I think that the one thing that I saw that translates to the work from home thing here, and it's going viral, and it's just a picture of gas prices here in California at like 7.50 or something like that. Absolutely absurd. And his comment was just like, "This is the greatest marketing campaign for work from home I've ever seen," and
yeah,
it's so true.
dude, it's wild. Up here in Washington, it's not as bad as down in California. It's insane down there. We have about, I think it's like 550, and it's funny because like 550 is now like, oh, that ain't that bad. Like, what the hell's going on here? But like, perfect example. I drive 60 miles every day for work. I average about 400 miles a week on my car, and people drive more than that, and it's shitty. So like at these prices, it's like, damn, I could be saving like $300-$400 a month on gas. And if you're making like fucking cash money, first class, like, you're not worried about that. But like the people who
Of
are worried about
course.
working from home aren't like chartering a PJ to work, like.
Yeah. Okay, talking about we'll stay on that and talk about the same people that are worrying about gas prices and things like that. Leads me back into the whole tech layoffs, work from home. Um, this was kind of all planned out. I would say I'll go on the conspiracy train and say this wasn't such a coordinated attack from Elon saying like, hey, we need our management back in the office, we need our employees back in the office. This was more of a way to lay off employees and give people the option to just resign and not pay them a severance. Because it's if you read it, like we talked about earlier with Mark and talking about just read the room, dude. Figure out what Reels is, But this is an Elon moment of him reading
Do
the
this.
room and saying like, "Hey, there's a this is a financial turmoil that is about to be like destroy us right now, and we need to get rid of some people." And I think this
Yeah.
was a coordinated effort from him.
Yeah. Honestly, like businessman doing business deals. That was pretty like honestly, I wouldn't want to be I would be pissed. But at the same time, you know, good on him for trying to figure out like a an angle for that because, you know, if people are gonna choose to quit rather than work, you know, so be it. Let them do that, you know.
Do
Be
you think
gone.
that there's going to be those? I don't know, like we talked about, there's like Netflix got rid of 7% of their staff. Coinbase just cut back on, I think it was like 2 or 5%, something along those lines. But do you think this is a trend across all of the industries, or is this specific to just tech and those software companies?
Yeah, no, I think it's across all industries. I think we're seeing definite shrinkage in almost everything, I want to say. And so what I'm thinking is a lot of these CEOs, a lot of these high level corporate managers uh, were in '08. You know, they were working and they were in like the corporate structure in '08. And they're like, hey, I don't think this is '08, but I still don't want to be sitting pretty ready to get fucking blown up by this shit. You know, a lot of small business owners I've been talking to have, uh, so to speak, trimmed the fat and and laid off a lot of their bottom, you know, 10%, 15%, depending on the size of the company, but they've gotten rid of them like beforehand before all this slows down because they're like, hey, I gotta be lean and mean if I'm, you know, the whole point of everyone getting paid and me having employees is like this business needs to survive, and it's not going to survive if we have all these extra people, you know, specifically the ones who aren't the best performers. You know, we need to be as lean as we possibly can. We need to be making it through this storm, and that's all prepped. And I think that all came from the feeling and the, I guess, damage that '08 did to a lot of these businesses.
Yeah, everything's kind of like looming. No one knows when it's happening. Everyone, it's like when you watch any financial news outlet and it keeps saying like, "Oh, it's coming. The crash is coming. The crash is coming," but it hasn't hit yet. We're in a recession, yes, but just depending on where you're at in the cycle, you don't really know what's going on. But speaking of people getting laid off and not really having to work, what's up with your boy Elon? Is he making replacements for us people here? We don't need to work anymore. What's going on?
Yo, I don't know what is going on because I see this guy go around everywhere. You know, he's talking to politicians, he's talking to governors. Same thing. Senators, governors. He went to the White House, I think, talking about AI and like the dangers of AI and, you know, all the problems. Like, you know, we need to be very careful with all this. And I guess, you know, I don't understand it enough to, you know, be like, oh, well, you know, you're just getting into this. I'm sure
Yeah,
they go about it a certain way, you know. Uh, watch iRobot. They watched iRobot. That's what it was. They followed the three laws or whatever it was.
it's the research,
Yeah.
man. So that's the
Yeah.
extent of the research that they're doing over there.
That's pre slap Willie Smith right there, and I think everybody enjoys that guy. So
So no, are they?
yeah,
What's happening with that? Are they building? I didn't know about this until you just kind of put it in our chat. Like he's building a robot. What's going on?
yeah. So pretty much what they're doing is I think that they had a team split off from the AI team that is in Tesla that you know, was working on the self driving cars, and I think they found some sort of niche, or like they got to some point where they were like, okay, I think we've built enough of a base to kind of go in this direction. We should try and go in this direction. And so they've been working on this humanoid robot, so to speak. Yeah, that uses AI.
What?
That like the goal of it. which I was like, okay, whatever, is that it would take care of all of the like chores and things that humans don't want to do, like washing dishes and taking out the trash. And I'm like, why would you buy I'm guessing it's at least $1 million a robot to like do basic tasks? I don't know. It's like you can pay someone $30,000 a year to like do all those things. And the
100%. Like the gig economy is, well, it's big enough now where people are like, yeah, I'll take 30 grand to take out your trash every twice a week and do your dishes like every few days. Like that's, you can work with multiple clients and make over 100 grand a year doing that.
yeah. So I'm not too sure where he's going with this. Gives me doesn't give me like a warm and fuzzy feeling. So still not sure of like what the end goal is with the bot. But yeah, he's trying to like deploy. Um, I think he's deploying or at what is it, Tesla AI Day in September. They're gonna like
Gotcha.
roll it out and they're gonna do their whole thing with it, and we'll actually see, can it kill people? That's the question we're all trying to ask
We
here.
all
Is
want to
like,
know.
is
And of
this
course,
thing?
we'll get on this we'll get on this tangent side of things on our other podcast that we'll be
Yeah,
releasing very soon. So stay tuned for that one. We'll chime in on that over there.
yeah, trio podcast. But seriously, we're trying to figure out if it's going to kill Aunt Susie or not. So
Yeah, I mean
we'll
that's
see. We'll see how that goes.
like if Elon's afraid of it, I'm definitely afraid of what could happen with AI. I just don't. I mean, we use that whole like deep fake stuff. I don't know if you've seen any of that, like the
Deep fake Tom
advertising.
Cruise, baby.
Yeah, like there's just so many things out there, like AI tools. The the service we use to edit the podcast, Descript, they have an AI that detects your voice and can recreate it for you. So you might not know if you're listening to me live or I'm just typed this up and now it's talking for me. You never know.
Yeah, and that's the fucking sketchy part. I feel like people are getting a little. I do not claim to be an expert. This is not financial advice BS, but I feel like a lot of people are, if they're actually using AI, me and you have obviously had this experience where they're talking about like the AI algorithm that we have, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? You actually have AI, or you just like want to say that? But with what we got going, I feel like there's a lot of opportunities that you could just use machine learning, and you don't have to like get fully into AI and to like risk the future that it could be. Obviously, there's parameters and shit like that. And again, this is like I'm not an expert, but like, damn, do we have to like use AI to like, see
No,
what your
and
favorite color is? Like, it's gonna fucking kill you eventually.
we go back
Jeez.
and forth all the time talking about this, and I very rarely have sympathy for people who are venture capitalists or even at like VC firms. Like you're the top of the top when it comes to wealth. Basically, you're just burning money every year. But I feel bad for the VCs who have to sit in meetings with companies who are pitching that they have like the latest and greatest AI, ML analytics. It's a load of shit, and they know it. Come on.
Yeah, like we're gonna use AI. We're gonna use something that could like technically just take down everything if it gets sophisticated enough. But we're gonna use it to figure out what your best Spotify playlist is during Christmas 2022, girl. And all it's gonna be is fucking all I want for Christmas from you, or whatever the fuck it
Yeah,
is gonna
Mariah
be
Carey,
useless, but we're
baby,
gonna
come
just
on.
start that path. It just like it's a snowball effect, and eventually it's gonna fucking turn into some frequency. It's gonna blow our fucking brains out. Okay, we'll be on another pod and we'll get more into this. We got really fucking sidetracked for a sec.
No, I love where it's going. It's going downhill real quick.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back in here. You had another couple topics. TikTok getting into streaming. What's going on there
Yeah.
with that? I'm a TikTok aficionado. I'm on there quite a bit. Um,
Aficionado, dude.
I've I've had my before we get into this, I got my few gripes with TikTok lately. You know, you're the Reels guy. You have beef with Zuck
Yeah,
and Reels over there at
fix reels,
Instagram,
dude.
but your boy, you know, ZZ Ping, if you're listening, my man, tell the people at TikTok to figure it out with this. They keep inputting live feeds on my feed. I'm not into this live video stuff. Just give me my normal TikTok scroll without any live videos going on. Figure it out, man.
Dude, that's why they're doing that. That's exactly what. Thank you for the segue here. That's why they're doing the lives, is because TikTok just set up how to for people to monetize their live streams. So everyone's just like inserting that, right? Just like I don't know the year, but U2 put themselves onto everyone's
Oh my
iTunes library. That was
gosh.
downhill for iTunes. That's why the iPod died, is because of U2
That was the
putting
last time
themselves.
that I don't want. We don't have to get too political, but that was the last time our country was on the same page. We all said "fuck you" too at that moment. We were all on the same page of you. We didn't ask for this. We don't want this.
So I'm pretty sure that's like summer 2016. The next day,
Yeah,
fucking Harambe died. That's what
exactly.
happened. And then just like downhill slide.
Dude, it's U2 gets on there, and then it's Harambe, and then Trump's president, and the whole country is just in a chasm, dude. It's just
Yeah,
horrible.
down and to the right.
Yeah.
Just flip it over up and to the left.
So I derailed us again, man. I'm sorry.
No, we're on track here. TikTok is getting into the streaming wars. And that's
So
probably
is
why they're fucking up your feed.
Yeah, so what does this look like? So is it similar to like Patreon where if you pay creators, you will get like you'll get like behind the scenes content, or like what does this look like? Is it getting like AdSense on the pay-per-view? What does it look like for the TikTok's model?
Yeah, so their model is a little bit different, to where you're already on the app, of course, and how they're presenting it is they're gonna put out the first two episodes free. They actually end up being 30-minute episodes, which I find, we'll talk about it after, but I find interesting because that is eons longer than what everybody's used to on TikTok.
Yeah.
But they're putting the first two out free, and then it'll be like $4.99 a month, or I think it's like $4.99 for the rest of the season. But what this is like setting up is creators are gonna like start like creating their own style of content that's like a little bit longer, and then it will be like a kind of pay-per-view thing that they can set up a more, obviously anyone can do anything with it, but like a more legitimate basis for their content, rather than kind of like the, hey, we got 10 seconds to get something done. People will be more invested in, TikTok will become more of a competitor with YouTube directly, because people will be putting their content on there a little bit longer form, I guess you could say, and they will be getting paid for that, or they're using the OnlyFans model. Hashtag Kathy Woods, hashtag don't get on OnlyFans. And they will be getting paid, or like paid per view, like you said.
This is an interesting. It sounds like they're going after both YouTube and Twitch with incentivizing their live streaming, as well as like YouTube made a massive investment a couple of years back into their creator space, where they really went after Amazon and Twitch with their stealing their creators and getting them onto YouTube gaming or YouTube streaming. But it now sounds like TikTok is doing the same thing, and they're coming after everyone now.
Yeah, like everyone, they got Netflix, on the ropes. They're like,
Yeah. Right when
they'd be
Netflix is
taking.
about to release their low cost subscription model to that with ads.
Yeah, and just to touch on that a little bit, apparently it's not going very well. They rolled that out in Peru, I believe it is, and people are either not doing the password sharing, they're just sharing the password and not having that. So it's like, how do we figure this out? It's like, yeah, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. And yeah, so people are either doing that or just canceling altogether. So not working well for Netflix. I would say like insert the meme. I think it's a South Park meme. Like I didn't hear no fucking bell. Like TikTok's gonna be rolling in hot. Mike Tyson with the right cross.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, it's already going downhill really fast, and that was a real issue too. Talking about how this was a really scary from a business perspective, is because then they would have to release their numbers on what their bot situation was like. Then they'd have to start reporting to advertisers and like giving real results of, hey, this is like who we're reaching. This is our demographics. You can't just say, oh, we have um, the highest grossing shows anymore. It's just you have to actually report that now to someone. You
Yeah,
can't just keep everything internal anymore.
yeah, yeah.
What?
So
I know
they're
it's.
kind of in a spot.
What do we have for staying on that space of tech and moving over to Salesforce's brainchild? What's going on with Slack and recruiting?
So Slack is actually trying to take on LinkedIn when it comes to recruiting. I think that something came up. I don't know how the idea really started, but something about they started out like recruiting and talking to potential employees and whatever they're called, recruits, I guess,
Candidates?
uh, candidates on their space. And what they saw that they were able to do is like it was a more free way of communicating. Obviously, they were able to go back and forth a little bit quicker, and then they were able to look at their Slack history, that candidate's Slack history, to see how they actually work in a space. Obviously, that requires a history of working on Slack, but a lot of people have found success on it. I think they set one of some marketing, I think it was market affiliate marketing person that was going for Facebook, I think it was, got on there and originally got on for Facebook, but then got like 32 different offers in like 5 days or something. So it was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But the big thing is that they're utilizing their more free to talk platform and kind of keeping it less
I don't like
LinkedIn
where
to
that.
like
Yeah.
create a word. They're like they're trying to change it up a little bit because I feel like everybody understands that like when people post on LinkedIn, they're like, "Great job, man!" Like I don't know about you, but I just see that and I'm like, yeah, you're just like,
It's just a bunch of like virtual signaling. I'll refrain from using the other term I was going to use, but it's just like everyone going around and giving like patting each other on the back of. It's kind of ridiculous. Even though we're all on it, it's a mess. I don't keep up with it. It's I don't know. I don't think it tells the complete picture of a person when they're just saying good things about everyone when they don't really mean that. When you get them
yeah,
on the weekend, get a couple drinks in them, and you're just like, you are not the same person that your LinkedIn portrays.
exactly. And I think it's like people are on there, they're talking like they would talk in front of their boss, and it's like we don't want that. And I think that Slack is, obviously they have a long way to go. I think that I want to say there's got like 100 million people, 140 million people on LinkedIn, and there's
Yeah.
like 4 million people on Slack. So there's 6 million. They got a long ways to go when it comes to users, but I think they got the right outlook because everyone that I've talked to recently, it's funny that we're having this conversation now, has said the same thing about LinkedIn. And it's like, it's just this like fake free for all. And some people are just like way more into it than other people. And everyone else is looking from the sidelines like, I just put my stuff on here. I don't even know why I'm on here.
Exactly. Like I had to make this in college to
Yeah.
graduate, so here it
Yeah.
is. Oh my goodness. Staying on that, we'll go jump over to I don't want to talk about them, but we're going to. The adult has officially left the building over at Meta. Sheryl
Yeah. She
Sandberg
was tired of
is
fucking
leaving.
up the reels, dude. Thank you, Cheryl. She's dipping out, but like respect, man. Get enough of the fucking Zuck for a lifetime, I'm guessing.
I mean, like you said, she came in when the company like was having a hard time figuring out its direction and like finding its North Star. And I mean, I don't want to compare her to Tim Cook, but she really came in and found a way to monetize and really drive the company forward. I mean, Zuck probably is a genius and he'll go down as one of the greatest kind of builders or entrepreneurs out there, but I think she was the one that was really behind the growth and everything behind Facebook. And that she made it possible for them to do their business.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, maybe it's a compilation of things. I don't know if, I'm not going to speculate if she agrees with the whole, diving into the metaverse thing. But as well as Apple's move on data privacy. So maybe she was like, you know what? I'm seeing the writing on the wall and it's time to go. And I think, she's like she's the only person who saw that this whole wooden ship was on fire, and Zuck's like, it's fine. I got a fire extinguisher in the back. Like, no.
No, I think you said it perfectly. She saw the writing on the wall. She is making the right move here. And it's a perfect segue for her to leave too, of like she really came in, drove home the narrative of like, we're going to be an ads business and this is how we're going to make our money. And now that the company wants to go in a different direction of going into the metaverse, like, it's fine. Like, she can live with that and do her own thing now and be happy with, hey, I took the company in the direction that I wanted it to go, and now it's all on Zuck.
Yeah, I agree. It was perfect timing.
Let's talk about something that's a little more down to earth. Phil Knight offering to buy the Trailblazers. Let's get into some sports.
Oh, right. Philly fucking not getting a deal here. $2 billion for the Trailblazers. Like, you're paying $2 billion for Damian Lillard. Come on.
I was going to say, it's a little, I'm not the biggest basketball guy. You're not either, but a little out of market. I don't know. Portland is not the hub for basketball as I can tell, but I don't know. I don't think 2 billion plus other assets is worth that franchise. I think I would much rather try and offer for something a little more. At this one, I'd rather have the Jazz than the Trailblazers.
Yeah, because you get a team that's like meh. You got Dame Lillard, and I feel like that's that's something there. But he can't lead a team to a championship, as well as you're buying a franchise that's located in a city where drugs have been decriminalized. Like, you are not in a good spot here. You better like pick a bunch of like, never mind. I was going to get into something, but like, you better pick a bunch of straight edge people.
It's a recipe for disaster. If you could say it, man. If Dennis Rodman is still playing today and he's in Portland, it's game over for him.
Dude, he doesn't turn out game over for everybody else, because then he doesn't have to fly all the way to Vegas and back. You could just do it all the way up to game time, and then it'll be ready. Juice me up with an IV, and I'll be fucking back to normal in 5 minutes.
Overall, it's a horrible idea. Like, you're going to be paying double for security than every other, I would say, mid-market team is. It's a disaster. I don't think the cost is worth it.
Yeah, but how old is Phil? I think he's like 80.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's an old dude. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Phil Knight.
I mean, 80 now is like not that old.
Yeah, man, but like, if you're worth, let's see, how much is Phil worth? Phil is worth.
I mean, he's enslaved all of China. He's got to be worth something.
Dude, he's 84. Jeez, hitting me with the China. Come on, man. Like, yeah, he owns half of China's factories, and he's 84, and he's worth 54 billion. So I think, 2 bill out the pocket to like say that you owned an NBA team.
Oh no, we need to stop this episode. I can't. We need to change topics.
All
The
I'm saying is like,
the
you
pictures I'm
know.
seeing now on Phil Knight, I need to get out. Get me out
Oh
of here.
no. Oh no.
I don't need to get canceled this early.
This is yeah. I
It's tough. I'll
with
send
how
you what I'm
bad.
thinking about.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All I'm saying is to keep it plainly, with the quality at which the Trailblazers are as a team right now, Phil, rest in peace. I hope this ages well. He probably will be dead by the time the Trailblazers are ready to be a championship team.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it's not. He's not going to see the return unless it's like a legacy play. I don't think this is in his best interest. Like unless he's, I don't know his family situation, whether it's like kids, grandkids. Like I don't, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, neither do I. What is this, dude? Oh my god.
So, closing thoughts. Um, Anything else you want to kind of touch on? I thought the biggest thing that I thought went under the radar was Saudi Aramco passing Apple again for the most valuable company at almost $2.5 trillion in net worth.
Dude,
Like
those they got
I can't even
money, dude.
fathom that amount of money.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. I can't believe that. Just open the pipeline, man.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, dude. And the other other kind of thing that slipped under the radar was Tiger Global losing $17 billion. Like they were funding almost anything. I don't know about you. I was talking with a couple companies, um, probably 2 or so months ago now, just like putting feelers out there, seeing what was going on in the market. And their initial pitch was that they led with that they were funded by Tiger Global, and I was like, no wonder why they're losing $17 billion. Like these are the companies you're funding.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things. It's like, I'm not gonna make the comparison, but it's like, hey, hey guys, you talking to the boys, and you're like, hey, guess what? The other night, me and this lady, and everyone's like, oh no way, me too, me too, me too.
Everyone's getting funding.
Yeah, Tiger Global will
It's not like
fund
Andreessen Horowitz
anything.
is safe though. Andreessen Horowitz is investing in Adam Newman.
The,
So
yeah,
let's get
they saw Tiger and they're like, hold my beer.
that's where they're at. Yeah, so what do you I mean, my content for this weekend, I don't know if you have anything else. Let me know. I can stop.
What, you got content? Come on.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you wanted to bring up another topic or anything like that. We'll close out here.
No, 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 no. This is good. This is good.
Content for the weekend here. Coming to Orange County is the professional pickleball tour. So I'm about to be at pickleball this weekend, watching some top tier talent.
All right, Gary V, let's go.
I
What's
mean,
going on with that? You got to buy a
bro,
team or what?
I was there before Gary Vee made it cool.
Pickleball though, dude. Damn. Yeah, it's popping right now. I think we should. What do you say? We create a team. Come on.
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
That's the
Say
new
less.
content recommendation. Emmett and Tucker, pickleball team.
We're investing in a pickleball team. There we go.
Yeah.
We said it. Our new
There you
company
go.
that we've created is investing in pickleball teams now. So there you go.
Done. Yeah, and we are one of the teams. We invest in ourselves. Can you depreciate a person? How's that work?
There's gotta be, we can definitely make this happen. We can do this.
Yeah, I'm down to depreciate myself. I feel it every day. Like I'm just going down a little bit every day.
I meant competing in pickleball, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, the
I
whole
don't know. It's
depreciating
like
body thing. Yeah, same thing.
yeah, financially, I'm just focused on the company here.
So what do you
Yeah,
have here for content? What do you got going on?
I'm not gonna go back to the same thing we always go to, but F1's this weekend. It's actually this weekend. Last time I recommended this content, it was actually the weekend after. So I apologize to all listeners who were like, "This guy doesn't know what the hell is going on."
Seriously, you asshole. Or are they at
So
Baku this weekend?
yeah, yeah, it's gonna get wild.
That's all we'll say. They're in
Yeah,
Baku. Yeah.
yeah, They're in Baku. For all the nerds out there, I just started Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that is very slow. Yeah, very slow. Um,
Really?
yeah, no, and like I think they're building up. I have a lot of faith in it. But it's good to get on that. I think they're going somewhere with it, so I'd recommend that. And
Did you watch any of the other ones, like Mandalorian, Boba Fett,
yeah,
any of those ones? I didn't see any of
I
those, so I think I'm kind of out.
so
Yeah.
yeah, Mandalorian was a great show. If you haven't watched that, that was done by John, the guy who did Iron Man. Can't remember his
Uh,
name.
Joe.
Favreau, John Favreau.
Okay.
He did that, so he's the overall creative director now for like a lot of these Star Wars shows. And I don't know if he did Boba Fett, but he's overseeing Obi-Wan Kenobi right now. And the Boba Fett one was all right. I just felt like it was like this, like, obviously I don't want to get shit on by a bunch of Star Wars fans. He is like obviously the OG guy, but like it felt like the Walmart version of the Mandalorian when it came to the TV show.
Damn.
It was
That
just like
is-
oh, we're using this, like we're just changing the story. It
we
was still
did.
good, but it wasn't as good as the Mandalorian show. So that's just my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And watch Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh,
So
man, damn.
yeah,
You
I
did not need
know.
to
I'm
say
about
all
to
that.
get.
I'll
Yeah, I
double down
guess
on my content recommendation for this weekend. Top Gun, like everyone else, you got to see it. It's good.
Oh my god. Highway
It's
to the Danger Zone.
dude. I was phenomenal. It just screams America.
Content recommendation. Kenny Loggins. There you go. Footloose. Highway to the Danger Zone. All I know is those. Great song. Get you in the 80s mood. Get you fucking popping.
Guess you're ready for it. Well, that's all I got, man. Anything else for the listeners at home? Thank you again for liking, subscribing, listening to us. We appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to hear more about how Reels is fucking up, hit that like and subscribe button
Yeah. Well,
and get more of that.
this has been Outside the Lines. Myself, Emma Ross, my esteemed co-host, Tugger DeCamp. We'll see you guys next time. See ya.